Good afternoon, people, and a very warm welcome to Carmen and Ingo from Carmen and Ingo Photography in Austria. And for all of those, they speak German. Herzlich willkommen zu unserem Chat. Wir freuen uns sehr, dass ihr da seid. Very warm welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having us. Thank you.
Carmen and Ingo Photography. I mean, we as Germans, we know you for years that you are doing amazing wedding photography, not only in Austria and in the neighboring countries, but you are going also far for destination weddings. Tell us a little bit about your story, like how you came to photography and maybe how you came together, because you recently shared the story a little bit, like how the two of you met and then became a couple, and how this was actually influencing all of your work.
Yeah, first of all, thank you very much for having us. It's a pleasure to be across the globe to South Africa. You're sitting down there in like wintertime. We're sweating our asses off up here. And also during the special times right now, thank you for having us. Well, it's actually, it's a kind of long story, since 17 years together already, and married since 6 years. And so like it began at the beach in Italy for, just the spring break vacation. And well, we accidentally met and actually fell in love just right away. And ever since, it's been a fantastic journey and time with, a little kid, like 5 years old right now. And yeah, it's been fantastic. We basically started out with a hobby. It's a passion. We just shared the passion of photography together, and we did like a lot of photos in the beginning, and like everywhere. And day by day with the tons of photos, and turned out that we could make like kind of a living out of that with our hobby. And so step by step we quit our jobs, and right now in 10 years we are full-time photographers.
Yeah, we realized that we really love photography, and we had normal jobs, and I was studying. So then we decided, after a trip around the world, we decided to totally quit everything and starting out with photography and living our passion and do what we love. And it was actually the best decision we ever made.
Yeah, it's if you do what you love, you've never worked again. Somebody very wise said back in the years.
That's
so
right. That's
what it is.
What shows you that accidents also can be a very positive thing. I mean, accident is normally very badly meant, like when you say an accident, but you said it by accident. You said it in actually such a nice way that is so positive.
Well, you mean that we met?
That we met?
Well, actually, it's kind of, she was sitting behind me, and I was like full of sand because I was wrestling with my friend in the sand after we went in the water. So I was all over sand.
And we had a couple of drinks.
And she was behind me. I was like going back for a laugh or whatever, and I accidentally put sand on her shoulder, and she said, "Stop it." And then she looked back and said, "Well, you may continue if you want." Like that. And then we started to chat. Yeah.
Yeah, the love song is like something with the sand, shoulders, and beach and stuff.
That's right. Yeah. And the summer feeling. This is very nice. When you say you both came actually from different jobs, how much was your previous job is influenced your current work? Does you actually benefit somehow from what you have done before, or is this something you say, no, this has totally nothing to do with what we are doing today?
I think it's it always helps what you did before. So it doesn't matter which point or which study, which whatever. So it made everything before made you to this person you are now. So it was the perfect timing, and it would be too early, or it would have been too early if we started it like in 2000 or whatever. So it was the perfect timing, and it's good to have other jobs and to like
Right.
we saw different places, we saw different jobs, so that was totally fine. I was actually I was studying sociology, and I was always a waitress. I was a hair cutter, makeup artist, so like I did a lot of stuff because I was searching for my purpose or whatever. And I found it with photography, but it was a longer way, but it was always a good thing. So I always enjoyed in this moment what I did then.
Yeah.
Right. And maybe this helps you now when you take photos to see, okay, the hair right, is the makeup good, the light,
Absolutely.
whatsoever. I think that maybe helps.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, back in the days, Carmen was like doing hair and makeup for like really exceptional on weddings, and then shooting pictures as well. So we've never, like, you know, one or twice, but you can see in her face that she's doing very well every day with the makeup, and even without makeup, but hair and stuff like that. So that's it's not just a passion; it's like a day-to-day thing, and also on other people, and so that I think helps a lot. On my side, I'm kind of the business technical guy in the family, so to say. And I was an engineer for telecommunication engineering, and I've done a lot of, you know, like I would say computer stuff. And also I was doing a lot of product project management stuff. So I had like huge budgets on a company with, like, at the beginning of my career. And so I knew how to calculate for like big projects in the millions or hundreds of thousands, for, you know, just make an offer with that money and see, calculate and stuff like that. So that helped me a lot in thinking about what's worth working for and what you have to charge to make a living out of it. That's a big problem in the creative industry, that people like, because the thing is, you're never coming from like, you're a businessman and what can I do? I'm going to be a photographer. That's not the case. You're like, you love taking pictures and you're becoming a photographer, you're becoming an entrepreneur or like self-employed. So that's the way usually. But a lot of people, unfortunately, are like not taking any, you know, classes or whatsoever in business. So what they do is like charge too less money, and, you know, you're working too much for too less money. So you could just easily do something else for probably bigger money. And of course you're doing what you love, but you also have to think about if it's a living, you need to make money and you need to live.
Yeah. Otherwise, you go back to your job before, and
so 9 to 5 jobs maybe pay more than what a lot of creatives are doing. So and it's not always about the money, but at the end of the day, you don't want to think about money, so it's better you have it.
And particularly, I mean, particularly if you're two in the same field, in the same brand, like having to basically live off the same client is quite a challenge, I suppose. Like it's not so easy. I mean, we, like right now, I mean, we see that people have it easier when we say they don't have all their eggs in one basket, but you have one family in one basket, you know, like you have basically everything who you are and what you have worked for in one brand, which is like Carmen and Ingo Photography, which is that quite difficult in the sense of, like, I mean, on one hand it's brilliant because they get you as a package, but on the other hand, it's like they get two photographers, like, let's say double the price, because if you would have separated ways and just meet like on a job, you would also had to get the same amount of money to sustain your own living from that photography job.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. There are always two sides. So it's very cool, and we decided to work that way because we like to travel with each other. We like to have the time together. We like to work together. We like all this stuff. But on the other hand, is like you have a lot of or more problems than other people because there are more topics in your in the daily life. You know, it's not just about the baby, it's about the business, about whatever. So there is a lot of stuff to work, and so it's and on the other side is like you work in one pocket, what you said, like, and you have to trust each other that it's gonna be working out, and it's not like, oh, I'm safe, my husband's doing that, and he's like, oh, but my wife is doing that. So it's okay to have no clients this time or whatever. So, but we like this, so it's challenging, and it's in a good way challenging. Yeah, so we like it.
That's
Okay.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Take us like back to your first paid job. How was that?
Paid job in general or
like
in photography?
or-
No, like your photography job.
Okay.
Okay,
As
well,
a couple, like as a
the
couple,
first paid job, the first paid job would have been a dishwasher. So
No, I'm sorry, I didn't want to go that far back.
well, actually, I just did it so that I can say like from dishwasher to millionaire. So that's the thing.
Yeah, okay. That's a story.
Still working on that
Are you
one.
there yet?
No, we're not there yet, but we're working on that. So now we're trying to we started out with photography just as a hobby, as we said, and then the first client were just friends, so or like colleagues, and so we did it for really, really, really cheap, and it was just like, I don't know, couple of
they were all for free basically. Like I mean, they
Like,
they
for the
they
cameras
probably
or whatever.
they probably gave us like a dinner or something. But the first real paid one was actually a famous person, which was
Linda?
that was actually like, I don't know if you know Sky, like back then it was called Premiere TV thing.
Yeah,
that-
yeah.
Yeah. And
I thought
we
you
photographed the two.
That's
Was that? Oh, the Sky, not the Sky, the TV
Is
channel
that
thing
the
here. Yeah. So, and we photographed the wedding of the CEO from Sky, and she was back then like chief editor of Cosmopolitan magazine, and they got married because they were like friends of us, knew them, and we shot them. We shot the free wedding of our friends, and they worked for them, and they said, "Hi, we know a couple of nice photographers," and we was like full of celebrities in there. We didn't know anyone, and. And like a lot of actors and actresses and like politicians and like a lot of people. Son of Udo Jürgens, I guess, was like the DJ.
Yeah,
back
that's
then. It
what
was
it
like we didn't know
Wow.
anyone,
Cool.
and we were sitting in the same room. And okay, what are we doing here? That was actually one of our first paid jobs. Actually,
Yeah.
I think it was the really first one.
That's
Like
amazing.
wedding wife.
Can
We
I ask
should-
you
maybe we
why
got a photo
weddings?
of
I
the
mean,
viewers.
maybe if you are into photography, maybe you had some. You could have gone into product shooting. You could have maybe done landscaping. If you like to travel, like why weddings?
Well, we did all this.
Yeah, we did it all. And now we just experienced that it's a very beautiful job, and it's heartwarming. It's very nice. You get a lot of feedback. They are very thankful. So it's extremely positive. So you have just like a really positive. It's hard work actually, but it's really positive hard work. So and you get a lot of beautiful feedback afterwards. And so we tried that, and we're like, that's really cool. So it feels really good, because in the jobs before, with the normal paid jobs, you just get like well done, and maybe not. So you just sometimes you didn't not even get this.
Your
So
boss is not coming and say, that Excel sheet is pretty nice, my friend. This
Yeah,
is
so
very well done. Not happens.
you don't get a lot of
Well,
feedback.
that email you sent was pretty good.
Yeah.
But what happens, the rewards of people getting married is like overwhelming. Even that's the best pictures they have at that day. It doesn't matter on which level you're shooting. It's the best they have. I mean, unless someone with an iPhone takes better photos than you, then you should probably practice again. But that we get laugh letters. People were like, these are the best photographers on the world, and recommended us, even though we weren't close to any good photographers at all. So, but they had the feeling, and that what paid off, and it's more worth than money, of course. And
we really like the idea
working with
of
people.
Yeah, working with people, working with loving people, like as a couple, and as well the idea of travel and events, so that we can travel together and being in different places, seeing different places, and it's always challenging. There's not if you have a studio at home, you have a setup, it's working, it's pretty cool, it's you can be creative as well. But for us, it was always challenging to be like, to get to a place, seeing it for the first time, and then so like, let's do it. And you have to be a food photographer, portrait photographer, fashion photographer. You have to do it all, and we really like that. So it's a pretty mix of of everything, and with a good feedback on different places. So it was a perfect combination for us. So we really liked that.
When you say about these different places, that leads me actually to my next question. A lot of photographer, maybe they don't go out of their own area. They stay in, maybe, let's say, at least their country. This is the most radius they travel. But what happened that you went out, or that you said, okay, we go to Italy, we go to wherever other destinations?
Like, did you market it, or did clients come after they've seen what you have done?
Well, actually, the first wedding I think we did was in Croatia.
No, the first
no, that's first destination wedding. I mean,
yes.
it depends. It depends what you call destination wedding. The thing is that we are Austrians, and we lived in Munich, in Germany, and our first weddings were all based in Austria. So we traveled all the time for weddings from Germany to Austria, like 5 hours in the car and back another 5. So we started already with the first weddings to have them as Germans in Austria. So everyone knew, okay, you're living in Munich and you're shooting weddings in Vienna, as some people thought we were Germans, but we are Austrians still. And so we traveled already for the first weddings. So it took a while to have the first weddings in Munich and around. So it was a different way, but it wasn't, for us, it wasn't destination wedding, of course, but from outside, they always saw us traveling. And you get booked for what you'd show. And if we, as a Munich wedding photographer couple, show weddings in Austria, we're destination wedding photographers.
And as I said, we went we had a trip around the world, and we were blogging a lot about that. So we had like 2, 3, 4 blog posts in every country. And we met a lot of people. Met a lot of people in Australia, New Zealand, in whatever, in India, and we were connecting with people like with owners from blogs, and we met them. We slept at their places. So we made friends, a lot of friends, and so it got a little bit more international. So we were growing with the blogs a little bit, like in New Zealand with Kate Holland with the Magnolia Rouge, or with Hochzeitswahn. We were in Sydney back then. So we had a lot of.
He had like Hochzeitswahn had 300 followers, and I think we had 320 or something like that. So
we're growing a little bit together, and they were sharing our blog posts and our photos, and we got like inquiries from India, from everywhere. So it came a little bit from
showing what. As I said, you get booked for what you show, and if you show travel photography,
that is exactly what I say. You get what you show. If you sell a bicycle, you get people that want a bicycle. If you sell a Ferrari, you get people that need a Ferrari.
That's true.
And if you show color key black and white with red roses, people want that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Can I maybe, before we're going into like your current situation, which obviously is interesting for a lot of people out there, just also to hear like how are you coping? But for me, I would still be interested in this because in the relationship and business relationship side, because a lot of people ask us as well as mother and daughter how we can work together, and if it's like okay to work together, you know. And I like between mother and daughter, it may be even a little bit more easy because you can still like split your ways. But as partners, I mean, you are together like 24/7 in any case now that are like business partners and like partners in crime and in life. Is this easy? Like, is this easy? Or is this sometimes also like difficult? If like 24/7 is either work or play, but it is 24/7 with the same people, like the two of you, or is it sometimes, I don't know, do you do some jobs on your own that you say, you know what, I'm just now like maybe something in your area where it's just one photographer required, I do this just for me, or this is something I want to do, or are you always doing it and you're enjoying it? I just want to know, like, what is your feeling, and what do you say to people that maybe like think it is difficult to be business partners and like private partners at the same time?
So I think it's never easy. So nothing is easy in life.
But it's beautiful.
It's beautiful. So yeah, we always had to work on stuff, you know. We when we were traveling in the beginning, when we met, we were experienced that we are always better together. So when we were separated, when we had a short time in life, like 1 or 2 years, where he was working in a different place, and we were fighting a lot at this time. So we realized when we are together, we are actually more or living more in harmony. I don't know why, but we feeling better when we are together. And when at the trip around the world was the same. Like we were together 24/7, and we
6
really
months,
liked
sleeping
it.
in the car, in the van. And
We really were fighting and stuff. And so we said, like, okay, if we manage this, we can do this. We can do the job part as well. But for sure, it's sometimes it's difficult. Sometimes we're fighting, and we had to figure out our positions in the company. And now we already know which place we have and what is our job description. So we know what we do, and we would never mess up with the other one. So if he's writing emails, I would never check the emails and say, hey, what did you write there? You have to write this and that. And if I do whatever blog posts and or do the photos, and he would never edit the editing. He would never say, like, this is a little bit too dark. Can you do it a little brighter or something? So we know what the other one, what they how do you say?
Everybody has his profession inside the job.
Yes.
So also at weddings, Carmen is better at things like that. I'm better in other things, and it's the combination. Like I'm probably more the business-driven person. Carmen will probably shoot for free the whole day. So it's kind of a mixture, which leads to a nice teamwork. But on the other hand, I mean, of course, I know people probably won't work with their spouse at all. So like, okay, I'm nice to see you at evening, and or even I'm out the door Monday to Friday and see you on the weekend.
There are also problems comes with this kind of life. You know, there
is no one fits all. You know, there is like everyone needs to find their own reality and like how it works. But like obviously, and this is also what we say, what works for us. If we have our own fields of responsibility and we don't mix, we just meet at a certain point, then I think it doesn't matter whether you're daughter and mother or brother and father or I don't know, like a couple itself. I think as long as you keep your responsibility to what you have and you're not interfering in the other, it's just like when you're working for like telecoms. I mean, it's your department, it's your job title, it's what you need to do, and you're handing it over to someone else to like for another process or like for another step afterwards.
Absolutely,
exactly.
We have a lot of, we are now together since 17 years, so we know that communication is the key. So we have to, if we have a problem private with Malia or with the job or whatever, we have to talk about that, and that's that's key, I think, because otherwise he would take the problem from the private life to the business life, or you take the problems from a business life to the private life. And that's actually, you cannot split this, because we are Carmen and Ingo, we are Carmen and Ingo Photography, but it's just, you know, a name. It's just us. Right. And it's a brand. It's a brand that but it's actually us. So it's not like, okay, it's just
it's not an isolated brand. It's like a personal brand.
Yeah, it's a personal brand.
Personal brand. And we've never, we don't split jobs or something like that. So even small shoots, we probably go both. Sometimes Carmen does some boudoir shoots or something like that, where I'm unfortunately not invited. But anyway, it's like rather more for stuff she does, maybe for like really her passion as, you know, be creative and stuff like that. And on my side, I need to say that photography, or that the way to express all the things with images and be on weddings and stuff like that and do the job we're doing, is basically a lot about also being self-employed and being an entrepreneur and working on the business side. So that makes, for me, is like, that's a lot of fun. It drives me to also with our workshop stuff to make other people successful in the industry and see them grow and see them do their own thing.
He really is into coaching and stuff like that. So he really loves that.
I love it. Yeah. And see people succeed because we help them.
I'm sorry, I didn't want to interrupt. Sometimes there is a little delay. Yeah, before we come to the workshops, I have maybe one final question about the weddings, because we all have something in our own profession where we say, wow, this is something I'm dreaming about, or I want to go there, or if something like that would come up. that would be something really cool. Is there something that you dream? I mean, you've done a lot. Is there still something what you say, I don't know, like where to go, what to do, a client with, I don't know, special things?
We actually came a little bit off this path. So we really we love weddings. We love what we do, but it's not about like getting the most beautiful, most stunning, extremely ordinary, whatever wedding. It's more about the people, and we really enjoy having cool clients, working with clients we really like, getting friends, having all this experience with like that people treat us like friends. We are feeling warm and welcome in the family and stuff like that. So we really love that. It's not about like the most beautiful and most stunning view, whatever. If they treat you like just a photographer, it's not our best experience. So it's not just about the look of the wedding. It's more about the feeling for us as well. So when we go through the pictures, it was always like, wow, it was just a great day for us as well. So like last year, it was the last wedding we had, like last destination wedding was in Greece, and it was a very small, intimate wedding. We were invited the day before, not as photographers, just as people. Guests, with my mom, with my daughter. We went there. It was such a great evening before and the next day as well. So it was a very warm and heartwarming thing. So that was really cool. So, and it was beautiful, stunning, beautiful view, everything. But it was more about
that wedding here.
Yeah, that wedding. Yeah. So it was more about just
I would have expected maybe you want to have a wedding like with two people on the Kilimanjaro or something like that, you know, or in Antarctica.
Well,
but there's nothing
if that happens, if that happens, that's awesome. But I rather prefer sending out happy anniversary to people after the 10th year together, instead of
having the best
trying the first year and saying, oh well, we split up. So that's another thing which is if people marry because they love each other and they fight through it. I mean, we've together, as we said, a long time now, and it's not easy. And if people get married, they should know it's not easy. And it's never been like the butterflies and stuff. It's that will be like my parents are like 15 years married. 50 years married last weekend. Wow. And we had the celebration, and there was in the church, and the priest said something really, really good. He said like
it's a heartbeat.
The weddings or marriage should be like the sinus on the heartbeat, because if it's just straight, you're dead. And that was awesome. That was really, really good. And that's like it is. It will never be just same thing, and it will be boring then. So you have highs, you have lows, and I love being together with people on wedding days when we see the feeling that they really love each other, and also they walked through different times before maybe and afterwards. And we have had like huge wedding with a lot of budget and amazing area and great wedding. And if you call them a couple of years back later, oh sorry, we split up and I'm already having someone else. So it's nice, it's their thing, but it's still, you know, that's more important than having $1 million wedding and a nice view.
But we really love to shoot like near the water. We love the sea. We love we love the light, like the Mediterranean light. We love stuff like that. So that's very beautiful.
And the light in South Africa, I read that.
I know South Africa light is amazing, but like now with COVID, it should be like not the goal to, or in the head, just the only thing what makes you happy to shoot in such surrounding. It's more about. It's going to be a great wedding anyway if it's just there at the
somewhere over here. Because a lot of people have different like dreams, you know. But maybe let's go back to your workshops. Like when was that you got the idea to share your knowledge, and how you do that? You do that in a very special way, right?
Well, we did that right at the beginning. Actually, when a hobby was like the main thing with photography, so it's been I read like a lot of magazines about photography, lenses, gear, and stuff, and like friends asked me, hey, which camera should I buy? And it started actually with that one. And then I said, well, this camera is right now is the best one. Take this lens, and if you have a budget of 1,000 euros whatsoever. So I started advising other people with stuff I know, and that continued in every phase we did. We never hold it back what we know. We always gave it away. At the beginning, of course, in the first 5-6 years, everything was for free. We did that because it wasn't like the huge masses who wanted to know it from us, but still we did a lot online for free. We had friends. If someone met me somewhere, I gave him a speech for free all the time, and still they walked till they walked away. So and then we thought, okay, well, time is limited. We have a lot of things to do. We can't do it for free anymore. Buy this session, and then you get our time. And so this continued in personal coaching, and then little group workshops. And now we're doing online courses. We're doing personal mentoring courses and stuff like that. So started with group workshops, then put digital to the internet. And yeah, we've grown a huge community with a lot of really, really great talents out there, which is not, it's their you know, their way, but we help them with everything we know and still do.
And we always think that growing together, like in the whole industry, is always a plus, you know, because in the beginning when we were starting out, people were always like hiding everything. When we ask, where do you get your photo book from, or which camera, which lens, how much do it cost? And the people were always like, sorry, you have to experience yourself, or you have to find it for yourself. We were like, thank you for your help. And we were like, okay, we want to do this different because that's not social actually.
And I think this helped. This helped a lot that we share our knowledge. If we wouldn't have shared our knowledge, first of all, we wouldn't be there where we're now. And we also would not have had the reward of helping other people, which is the best thing ever.
Yes, I generally think if you are shedding light, or if you're spreading your knowledge or information onto others, it's not taking away from your own.
No,
I think it makes
more.
you like much better, in the sense that you can just help other people to reach a certain level. And what I think generally, and this works for us, like in the flower like business, the same. Like if you elevate in a certain way the industry, an entire like industry is getting better, and the client actually just benefits the most from it, not you. Like maybe and I think the worst part is if you can see it as like competition, because I think particularly like in photography, I mean, I think if Carmen goes on a shoot, she will come back with completely different images than if like you, Ingo, go on a shoot, have seen the exact same wedding, but and have seen the exact same setup and everything, but just this is your personality, this is you as an artist. You convert what you see in a completely different way than anyone else. And I mean, obviously the benefit of like you both together is maybe that a female and a male like looks at things from a completely different angle, and then the input like that you both have towards the client brings out the best results for the client, because that is then what the images, the albums, and what they take home and I don't know, have framed in their living room or wherever. And if you can share the knowledge with others, it will just help to grow an entire like industry of great photographers, but who all have their own eyes, who all like, you cannot take the pictures for them, you know, like whatever you tell them, the
it's not just
whatever it is,
it's not just about the eyes and what you see and
it's
what
personality.
It's not just about the photos, it's the personality you get. Like when you getting married, you choose a photographer who is like with you the whole day, from the morning until the evening, and there's nothing closer than that. And I see like breasts every Saturday. I'm in the heaven of every man. So I tape breasts, I put whatever I have to do, and we try to be the best friends, making experience, like being there for them, not just on this day. Are they frozen? No, it's here. And not just on this day. It's in beforehand. We have like a little candy guide where we show them.
It's this one.
Where we show them what they should, or where we show them what they should do or what they can do to get the best out of the day. Then afterwards as well, getting a package, or ask them what can we do, how can we help, whatever. So it's like the whole experience. And being there the day and being with them the whole day. It's everybody is different, and nobody could be Carmen and Ingo, so nobody can be you. You know?
Yes,
Right,
exactly.
right.
Yeah.
And tell me, like, about the workshops. Is it only for photographer, or can also somebody like me come to you and say, listen, I'm so bad with my night photos. So this is my biggest nightmare. Night shots. They are nightmare shots. I want to say like that. And you would teach me, or do you say, oh no, we are only for like professionals
who have maybe a certain knowledge base already?
Yeah.
So it depends a little bit. I mean, if you come for a coffee, I would show you a little bit about photography as well and how to start that. Business-wise, our I would say our personal coachings are on a different level. It's not people are asking what's the ISO on the camera and where's the button to change it. It's a different level. Of course, it started that way back like 10, 12 years back when we had our first personal coachings or group workshops with, okay, this is the camera and that's the shutter. And we have had really people on our workshops never, they had their gear, I think it looked like the first time in their hands. And years later, you look at their site and it's like amazing work. So it's really, it's all there. But right now it's more about bringing you to the next level and like
in the
holding
industry,
the camera,
right?
in the industry and in personal level, of course, as well. It's about business. It's about creating a brand. It's about getting clients. And of course, if someone asks, how are you shooting? How are you're handling with clients while they shoot, and how are you dealing with high ISO in churches or something like that? We of course advise that as well, but that's not what we are. I would say what we're burning for. So
we have online courses. So there is already because we said the same like 100 of times, and we're like, okay, it doesn't make sense to tell the story every time again. So we have like a online course. It's like 16 hours, and there is like everything in there what we always tell the people. But afterwards, we always tell the people, watch this first, then this is the base, so you know everything we tell you anyway. But then the people come to us with special questions about their own business, about their own personality stuff, and about their own problems, about how to get further, how to use Instagram, how to whatever. And then we talk about their personal branding and personal problems, not in general.
Yeah, and also a lot about if you come for us, if for just personal, you as a business people, it's not just photography. It's about businesses. We have built businesses outside of the wedding and photography industry as well. So we're really on a different level in terms of just showing you how photography works. In the last years, we have experienced how business works, and that's not just photography. It doesn't matter what you're doing, but there are certain rules and certain ways in a certain market, and a lot of things to know about. And it doesn't matter if you're taking images or being at weddings, it's B2B or B2C, doesn't matter. So
most of the people are already good in photography. As Ingo said, they are already creative. They already know how to shoot against the light, whatever, but still hang in there and don't know what to do with the business. They don't get clients. They don't get the right clients. They don't know how to price the whole stuff and all this. Yeah. So we talk more about the business behind everything, but we still do, like in these private coachings, we still do shoots and whatever people want to do, actually. Yeah. So if you want to do a night shot, we come to us, and we are doing this at night and doing some night shots.
Yeah. It's very interesting what you are saying, and I remember what Ingo said just like a little moment ago. He said, I'm more business driven, and you may be more the creative, and you would do things like for less maybe. I think the two of you became a one, but a lot of people are still alone. So that's why they are only one. And most of the artists have actually the problem how to sell and promote their work, or even
absolutely.
A handyman, like a carpenter or whatever, they can be happy to have their wife to run the business financially, because otherwise they would never get paid for a bill, because they're just not in that business. And I think this is very important, particularly in these days where a lot of people, when they start, you cannot actually afford an accountant, you cannot afford
I totally disagree on this point, because the thing is that's what you think. That's what you think. You can't afford, you can't afford, you can't afford. The thing is that you have to put yourself in a position to say, okay, I'm working on my center of what I'm the best on. And that if you're like the best on photography, don't sit hours and hours in your computer and do editing. Let other people do your editing. We have with pro image editors, we have outsourced our editing like years ago. So I'm not doing my accountant since first day. I'm not good at it. I'm spending hours and hours. Instead, I should be better in my business, selling our wedding images to clients, to work on how to sell my wedding photography to clients, because I can't send anyone else selling our wedding photography.
That's why I say, like, you can outsource everything. People don't know. Yeah, like, you know, you can like let clean your room. You can put the editing outside. You like whatever you want, but what you can't outsource is like your personality, your business sense, your how to communicate with your clients, everything like that. And people tend to like trying to train the eye, train the creative side, and they do a lot of workshops, creative workshops, and it's beautiful. And we did this as well. But at some point we were like, okay, well, you always get the same. Yeah, you always, how you can say that, you always get the same spirit from these workshops, and you get creative, and it's true.
Yeah.
But you miss a little bit the point of how to sell your stuff, and it's very important, because otherwise you get back to your normal daily job you hated before, and do it as a hobby. And we were like, we don't want to get back to our life before. We really want to
make
work this out and stay there. We're not just here to go back to our jobs. We want to stay here and working our dream for the next 20 years. And so
if you're at the beginning, then get help right at the beginning, and everything with and get help with everything you don't want to do, first of all, and you're not as good as anyone else. So even like we started with growing a team in like 8 years ago. We had our personal assistant. She did a lot of stuff we personally didn't have to do, but she can do it.
Even go to the post office,
just go to the post office.
I don't know, whatever you need.
And that's the business side of it. You need to think.
Yeah, but
every time is money.
That has one condition, like you have to understand right from the first day how to make money. And this is the problem, because otherwise you cannot afford all these other services. And I think this is the problem with a lot of entrepreneurs or artists. They don't know how to make money because they are artists.
Yeah, that's why you have to train this.
Wait a second. Open a restaurant. What is that in money wise? Open a restaurant. How much money you need to have in your hand just right at the beginning to open a restaurant, a hotel, whatsoever. You have to have a ton of money to start, even not even seeing the opening hours. You have to have money, a lot of money. What do we need? We need a camera, a lens, a couple of memory cards, a computer, Lightroom, and then you're set. So why not spending a couple of money on some people helping me right at the beginning? And then I can work on my business sense and getting the amount of money I need to run this company. I mean, you're not starting from scratch with theory. You bought a camera, you know? So, and maybe you have a little bit of money, but, and this is like circle of thing. If you have, because we're seeing it a lot, the worst thing is people are working, getting amount of like clients and assignments for less money because they need it, they want it, they have to do it. It's like way underpriced. So what happens? They are just working it off. They're just working in the circle, working. They have no time to think about the business, to grow it. They're just doing the work which is there, and there's a lot of work. And that keeps them small in thinking and working because you're just only in the tunnel. The best thing is I don't have an assignment right now. Corona is like for a lot of people a very, very bad time. But to be honest, it's a very, very good time for chances. It's a very good time to rethink your business, to think outside of the box, and get creative in also earning money what you do, and educate yourself about it.
I mean, then we have done nothing wrong, right? We say, I don't know, we don't feel the lockdown. We feel as busy as before. So maybe
Very good.
that's maybe the quintessence. But tell us, you showed us like just shortly the new book. Tell us a little bit about that. I think there is a story behind.
There's a story behind. Actually, it's a magazine. We call it Candy Guide Compact, and it's basically, it started about 8-9 years ago with a simple 4-sheet PDF file, which we send it out to our booked clients who needed information we want them to know. So it's easier to communicate. Hey, how can you? What time will be the shoot? What time? When should we start getting ready? Stuff like that. Just regular basic questions, and we grew and grew and grew it. And a couple of years back, we started to sell the text we wrote for our own clients to other photographers, because we have 13 years of experience. We have things experienced people didn't, because they're just 1 year or 2 years in business. How should they tell their client what really is probably good to know on your wedding day?
And a lot of people don't want to write, or are not good in writing, or have no time for writing, because it takes a lot of time.
First look, it's on the processional, recessional, what's important about the first kiss, ceremony tips and stuff like that. So it's like wedding. I mean, we are the experts in the industry. We are the experts in the industry. Couple shoot, what time? And it's like, as I said, 80 pages, our tips. 80 pages.
And you can just remove our pictures, put in their own pictures, and send it to your client. So it helped us a lot. So we got a lot of feedback. Actually, people were really happy, and you can see it at weddings. It's like it's a win-win. So you get the style getting a little better. Or you don't have the problem in South Africa. Actually, you have really, really beautiful weddings. But we had a couple of issues here in Europe with the weddings, with the style. We were always dreaming about South African weddings when we met some of.
But it's not so much about the style. It's people are getting married the first time. How should they know what they even want if nobody is telling them? And how we are experts.
How the hotel room should look like. How is the light? When do we shoot? What are we doing if it's raining? What is it with the lighting in the evening?
Also interesting for wedding planners. If I can just jump in there.
We have clients.
We need
our clients are wedding planners too.
The schedule. We need to inform the couple and everyone involved what is happening. And we run a very detailed schedule on the day. And
that's a rough plan, winter's timeline.
To the photographer, but if you have something as a set information, then obviously that helps as well.
I think even that would be interesting for young photographer even here in the country to get to learn something. Like if people are interested, how they can get actually in touch with you, and maybe if they, or can you tell how much you have to pay for something like that?
Well, that you can find that on pro.candy.guide. That's the website actually, and if you press the first button, you change the language, and I think it's not expensive. It's the license you may use the text. I think it's 199 euros or something like that right now. We have a promotion. Recently we have talked to a photographer friend, and he said you could sell that for a couple of €1,000, and I'm like, okay, then I need to switch down the website where we sell it for 199. The thing is that we won't have the same clients. We won't.
No.
Because we are shooting their wedding, and if they are not getting a new partner next week or the next year, we won't shoot the same client. So I can tell you, it's not about selling it or about handing it over for promotion. It's about for your booked client to give them the best experience you have. And also, this is the reward. They are prepared. Educate your client is a big thing. And if they know what you want or what's best for them, that's the basic for you to take the best pictures that day, then everyone is a winner.
Yeah, they really feel like if you take care of them beforehand, you know, like you sending them a package and you send this and say thank you for booking and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and
that's a surprise.
People
actually
feel like, oh, they care about me. So it's not just, you're not just a number. You are someone, you know.
You say very often, like, a business is not just a business. You have to deliver a service, and that is actually taking care of your client, not only before, also after a business. When we sometimes, I mean, like the first time when we as a wholesaler or as importer called some of the florists, like when they bought first time from us flowers, and they said, what? You are calling me? Like, I have never experienced that a trader is calling me after I bought something from them. They normally don't care about that, you know. But it's so important to know, is this flower arrived in good condition? Is this what they expect? Are they happy with the quality according to the price and whatsoever? And that maybe is important for what we do in the future. If the flowers not travel well, we have to actually look into travel services and
and particularly a wedding. I mean, coming back to weddings, I mean, it is a once in a lifetime moment, you know. It's like, it's not a birthday party which you repeat. I mean, you have it this year, you have it next year, and you're gonna check, like, you know, this year we have gonna have this a birthday cake, next year another one. No, like, this is really something, I mean, melting of two families. It's already stressful at times, you know. I mean, we all know like what goes into weddings and families and all of this, but it is, after all, a moment that is not to be repeated. And there is like not a lot of chance and room for second chances, you know, from a planning side, but also, like, most definitely from a photography side, because once they said yes and you haven't captured the moment, it's lost. It's like it's not there. So this is the once in a lifetime moment. You have only to get refers, but by the end of the day, this is what we all live in the industry. Not so much only by like social media, and yes, it's nice, and yes, we all get like a lot of requests through social media, but by the end of the day, what really like matters most to me, if there's a client of mine that has referred me as a business to someone else, this is the actual value of your business, because this is the like word to word, like mouse to mouse a business that is much more valuable than any like social media or whatsoever, because there is someone who can legitimately tell you this person or this company has done 100% an amazing job, and I can refer them from my heart. And I mean, we all we like dealing with excellent clients, you know. I mean, like your pictures, I mean, show like already that those clients have a very, very good taste. They have a lot of expectations. They have a lot of things that they want out from this moment that they're sharing with their guests and with their families. So
that's what I said like before. It should be a wonderful one-time moment or experience in life, and we are part of it, and we give our best before, at the wedding, afterwards. And I think it's because the people talk about you, and this influence how people talk about you and the rest of the life. It's not just about references or just 1 year later or whatever, but it's gonna be in their heart like for the rest of the life. So it's gonna for us it's important.
Every time they look at the pictures, they will think about you as well. As a photographer, as a wedding service supplier, they think about, and they will remember. If they won't remember the price, they won't remember, oh damn, that was fucking expensive. They will remember the experience. They will remember that like you as a service supplier. Business is between humans, and that's what people remember. I probably remember everybody who has been an asshole in treating me in their business, and that's what happens if you are not treating your client well with certain, you know, between people. they will remember, and always when you look at images, they will remember it.
And as you said, it's all makes a difference if you call them, or if you send them something, or you make a present, or you be especially nice or help them, or having a candy guide or whatever.
That is like a year in advance. They're getting a book with 80 pages for their wedding day, and they are excited. They're planning, and then it's like, ooh, what? Yeah, we can't wait for it, and that's what. And back there is an image of you on there, and
so it stays there.
Tells them send out.
You're already part of the family then.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think also it is very important what you said, that this what we also always recommend: never save on a wedding on two things. The first is the photographer, and the second is the decor, because this makes your memory forever. Nobody will remember if there was like 2 tiramisu or 2 desserts or 3, but when you look at the picture, and this is what you said, they will, the
it's
memory,
ambience,
right.
There is, obviously the couple and the location, like already preset, but the ambience, this is what basically also makes your job as a photographer much easier if you have something that is there apart from the couple that obviously outshines everything. But
and even if maybe the decor is not that rich, but if the photographer is a good photographer, he can even photograph that as an amazing setup. Let me ask you one final question, because you said COVID was or should be a time for reflection and also for making new plans. And as far as I know you from social media and from that what you actually talked about in our conversation right now, I assume you have made plans for something in the future.
Yeah, we were talking yesterday or the day before about this situation. In the beginning, it was scary. It was like for everybody, like you having a little unknown, like you have some fear. So it was a little bit of up and down in the beginning. And then we were like, okay, let's make the best out of it. Let's start. So I was starting reading a lot. So we get a lot of podcasts. So we're working a lot of on us, on our personal growth, and on
we've always done that.
We always done that, but now we have time.
More time. For that.
Right.
That's what you have. It's
even more time.
A ton of time, so you can make something out of it. And then we sat down and writing down goals, and we had a lot of stuff we never started because it was too less time. And normally this is our season now. It's 30 degrees outside, and normally we are on tour every weekend. Or not every weekend, but a lot. So, and then we have to travel there, get back. Then you're at home, you enjoy your daughter a little bit as well. Then you're in the office, you have to take care of the photos, emails, whatever. Now everything is a little bit like a step back, and we have time for all the projects we never get started.
Sounds like we have a lot of time, but we don't.
No, we don't. No, we have a lot of time for new stuff. So we don't have time anymore.
You've been at the lake today?
No, not yet.
No, to be honest, it's we have a couple of things. Actually, we always had. We did a lot of projects over the last years. It's always. It's like if you're once in that circle of self-employment, of being a business person, of being out there looking for doing your own thing and not getting told what you have to do. And so this Excel sheet needs to be done by Thursday or something like that. If you're in that mood, in that thinking, in that mindset. then it's continuing. It's a momentum of what you're doing. It's driving you. If you sit back and say oh, I don't know what should I do? Okay, shitty situation and COVID and whatever, and then head down, and you will be with all the other people head down. But we have I would say I have about 15 business ideas I could start right away tomorrow and make it successful. But I just don't have more than 24 hours at anybody else. So I need to focus on what really drives me. And we are doing business with a couple of friends.
Focus goes on the positive things. You know, we could sit here and talking about this shitty situation.
News, bad news. Let's talk about Trump.
Politicians and I don't know. We can could cry as well, and but if you start like checking out like your privilege, where you live and where you have the possibility to stay and to be, and everything is fine. We are not starving. We are like we are in a really good position, so we can be happy. And there are people out there they are not, but I guess in our position we are not in the right position to complain. Actually,
if you're like,
honestly saying, I'm sorry, and honestly saying, in Europe you are even in a better position than most of here in Africa, because like there is no possibility any event still until end of the year. So we are still in lockdown stage 3, counting down from 5. So we are in the middle actually of the lockdowns. So there's
since
no
120 days.
Since 120 days, no gathering allowed. Weddings only for a couple and 2 witnesses. What a wedding is that actually? Is just like a sign off, you know. Some of them even don't get photographers because they just don't want to.
You say, for what? I have planned something else in my mind, you know, I just need the signature and go.
That's it. And a celebration whenever, maybe in 2021, 2022, whenever it's possible. I mean, that's quite hopeless for a lot of people here. And entire industry. I mean, like there's photographer, there's wedding planner, there's venues. They have no income for almost a year when we are by the end of the year. And there's no financial.
For the venues and for the restaurants and for the bars, it's actually pretty hard because you have to pay the rent, you have to do this stuff. So that's really tough actually.
I completely agree that we can go from A to Z for whom it's the worst or whatever, but the thing is different before that as well. I mean, on the whole planet, people are not as fortunate as we are, or others are more fortunate whatsoever. I personally think in of course there are like a lot of cases, they're really hard, and I don't want even to focus too deep on who is the hardest whatsoever, but always and really always there is a way to think outside the box, step back, think what can I do, even as a venue, and I'm not saying you have restrictions and stuff like that. I'm you know, it's not like a business workshop for a venue right now, but if I sit there and I talk to a person and I'm 100% sure there will be anything he can do, she can do to make to move on. 100%. 100%. That's what I deeply believe.
Yeah, even if the situation is bad, and I think like, I mean, we are like one of those examples. Maybe like in the worst times of your life, most definitely you will have the best ideas because you just have to, you know, to make it.
Exactly.
Work. You have to think outside the box. Once it's comfortable, once it's easy, once it's you will not. This is the human nature. You will not, because you are lazy as a human being. You know, once everything is working, you will just maintain it as it is. Yeah. But you will not really evolve in most stages because you are just busy. As you say, you are busy keeping things like rolling as they are. But now that everyone had to step back and say, okay, where am I? Like where do I want to go? How do I get there? In this current situation, like leaves a lot of space for people who obviously have to leave the market because they are just not strong enough. I mean, this is also the reality of things. There will be a lot of people that will be out of business.
Maybe it would have happened anyway. It just happened earlier.
But there will be also like a lot of opportunities for those people who are strong enough to think forward.
Yeah. And we can see this already. And I mean, like a part of this piece of the puzzle is that at the beginning of the lockdown, we checked on our clients. We called them and just to hear how they are, you know. And always, and it reminds me what you said, always when I put down the phone, maybe after half an hour, sometimes I spoke to people for 2 hours. There was somehow a move on, either an idea to do maybe whatever, like a funeral, flowers, or whatever is possible, you know, and have a association founded or whatever. And I said to Afi, I don't know why, but when we are talking to people, there's always a positive outcome. Maybe we should do this in public, you know, like people maybe. Our stories encourage people to do something in a different way, and that's why actually that's a part of this these stories. And a lot of people afterwards come to us, or still now, they say, listen, sometimes I watch your stories at night when I have time, and it's so encouraging. It's so nice actually to hear what other people do, how they started, and it let me move on with my own business, you know.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
And I think,
we're also in exciting times in terms of businesses. I mean, I'm not going the way with like Instagram, TikTok, whatever, YouTube. It's the possibilities. I mean, of course, if you're a photographer, if you're creative, if you're in your box and when we need to shoot weddings and stuff like that. Well, if there are no weddings, you probably don't shoot weddings. Find something else what you want to like to do. And if you sit down and think and also get inspired, read, get educated. I mean, create yourself a guide. If you don't have this yet, go and get it. Go and get it. And it won't make you busy for too long because we did a lot of work for you. But the thing is, if you don't have it, just go do it. And then next wedding comes up, you have this guide. And as I said, you can sit back, put your head down, and be in the group of negative people with everyone else, talking about the government and who else is not doing something wrong. But on the other hand, you can go out there or sit even in your home. You have a phone, you have a computer. I mean, there are like a million ways to get a business driving, and most of them, as you've before said, are created in hard times, you know. And of course, there's war on Earth as well, but here in Europe, it's a virus. It's not war, and people like our grandparents or even
they had wars.
They had wars. They had really a hard time, even just right afterwards, and in other places of the world, there's a lot of bad things happening. So just, I mean, sit there, enjoy yourselves, of course, but also put your head up and bring your mindset in winning and not in losing.
Yeah,
that's amazing. Thank you so much. I think the
glass is always half full, never half empty.
Always.
Thank you so much for those. I mean, for the summary, I think it's a nice inspiration for people from all around the world, and it's nice also to see. I mean, even though that you say, yes, you are in a fortunate position, yes, in Europe are also not having it like, you know, like, I mean, from an African perspective, like people always think, oh, you know, they're doing great in Europe. Everything is beautiful. Everything is wonderful. But no, even you are like struggling in a way, like to just have weddings. But I think people just need to be like creative. And can I just ask you, if people want to make contact with you, how do they like reach out? Maybe if they wanted to join a workshop or whatsoever, like how do they get in touch with you best?
Well, if it's difficult to get in touch with us, you're anyway lost. So it's Carmen and Ingo.
We are everywhere.
Now it's Carmen and Ingo Photography.
Yes.
So you will find a way in our inbox, I guess.
Wonderful. I did the same, and here we are.
Yeah.
So I will
here we are.
in this
so pretty easy, right?
And
so I mean,
I can just like finally to invite you whenever travel is possible, and you want to come to South Africa doing shoots, maybe having couples here. Most welcome. We would be very happy to help you, to support you in whatever.
We actually had the plan
100%.
for this winter to like enjoying enjoying a little bit of last season without school, you know, like Malia is coming to school, but I think COVID changing our plans now. But there were South Africa were definitely on the plan because it's beautiful there, and it's winter when we have it's summer when we have winter, and it's actually extremely beautiful country. We really loved it there.
Definitely.
And the food is amazing.
Yeah.
The people were amazing. The light is amazing. The weddings are crazy. So it's for us really amazing.
Definitely seeing ourselves someday in South Africa again, and also traveling the world.
Probably a wedding in South Africa.
Won't be the same as before, I guess, in the near future. But we will show up on your doorstep and take you on that. What you just
I'm
said.
not afraid about that. You don't have to be horrible.
Awesome.
There's always school holidays, you know, like this is also not an excuse.
Yeah,
I know. We will find a way. We always find a way.
It's just not a month long, so that's what we were talking about.
We always find a way.
Being away for the whole January when it's winter.
Extended holiday.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you so much. Stay safe.
Thank you as well.
After the most important thing. Stay healthy
Absolutely.
yeah, keep inspiring other people. I think we are measured by the lives that we affect, and I think as more people we can affect with what we do and what we are passionate about, the better we are as people. And thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's all right. Thank you.
Thank
Stay
you.
healthy. That's the as you said,
Yeah.
the most important thing, and the
Right.
rest will going to be.
And if there's anything we can do for you, let us know.
I will take
That's
you up
great.
on that.
Thank you very much. Take care. Bye bye.
Thank